Hi, welcome to Intimacy After Rape. I'm Christina, your host, and today I want to talk a little bit about shame and how it affected my life, and then things that I did to completely get it out of my life and live shame-free. So, if you've seen my other videos, you know that I have experience with being drugged and raped, and in many of those situations, I had a feeling it was happening, and I kept going back to the same person that was drugging me. And I get into that in some other videos. There was a lot of shame that I had around that because I kept thinking, what kind of a woman would allow this to happen, or what kind of woman would put herself in the position to be drugged and raped? What kind of person wouldn't go to the cops after they found out? What kind of mother, and I was teaching yoga at the time, what kind of yoga teacher would allow this to happen? I put a lot of self-blame, and because of all that self-blame, I didn't talk to anyone about it. Not only because I was embarrassed, but because I was just like, it's my fault. I take full responsibility. There's nothing anyone can do. And what happened was, because I didn't share it with anyone, there was no one to reflect back the horror of what had happened, and no one to reflect back that it wasn't my fault, and no one to reflect back that there must be underlying root causes that had me not stop this cycle. So with all of that shame, I'd be fine during the day. I had a busy life teaching yoga. I had just my daughter at the time, and for the most part single. Besides a few failed dating experiences, I was single. And so at night, after she would get to bed, it would be really quiet in my apartment or wherever I was living, because there were several places. And I would just pour a big glass of wine, like as big as I could, right to the top, and drink it. And that would give me enough false bravery to get through the quiet night, and basically just kind of numb myself to sleep so that I wouldn't have to think about it until the next night. And a lot of that just dissociation and drinking had it just pushed down into my body. And shame, on the vibration chart of our energies, shame is the lowest vibration. Like, I can feel it in my body as I speak this. Like, shame is the lowest energetic vibration we can carry. Shame, for me, ate at me so much that some of the things I mentioned, like yoga teacher, what kind of yoga teacher would allow this to happen? That shame had me not pursue some of the classes I wanted. It had me not want to look yoga students in the eyes. It's like I felt like they could see right through me, and they would know like what a dirty person I was. And so that created not only discomfort in me, on a personal level, professional level. It caused me to hide more in the yoga community, so I wasn't playing full out in my life and in my community. And what it also had was, it had me shove all that shame into my body and create all sorts of physical issues. And I will talk about that in other videos, about how when we don't address certain problems and we just push them down, they start manifesting. And one of the ways that shame and anger actually would manifest is through vaginal irritations. I was diagnosed with genital herpes, and I thought I was getting yeast infections, but I would run to the gynecologist and they would say, it's just inflamed. We can't figure out what it is. Until I found one doctor that said that that's where I carry my emotions and my stress, it seems like. And so the more I wouldn't address the shame and the anger and the other emotions, the more I would just get this like irritations that would feel very much like yeast infections. And then when that would happen, it would cause more shame. So, the shame of being raped and allowing it, all right, air quotes, and the shame of not playing full out of my life and the shame of the vaginal irritation, it was getting to be so much. And the more that would play out, it would play out in failed dating experiences. It would keep me pretty much in a freeze mode where my nervous system was just on constant alert. After a few years, I finally settled down with a partner for a little while, and we had a child. And it's almost like when I got pregnant with my second child, I thought, I'm gonna push all of my shame, all of my past history. I'm just gonna tuck it in a tidy corner somewhere, bury it. I'm not gonna deal with it. And instead, I overcompensated and wanted to be like this very pure motherly figure, right? Didn't want anything sexual in my life, you know, besides laying there having sex in missionary position. I didn't want to explore any of my desires, and I had them. I had a lot of desires. I just pushed those down as well. And I just wanted to be this pure woman who had no past history. And what that did was, yeah, it kept me from thinking about the shame. On an underlying level, I could feel it though, because in certain moments it would trigger. So if I had vaginal irritation from whatever reason, I would get that shame flashback. All right, after sex, I would enjoy sex while I was having it, and then afterwards I would be like, oh, I can't believe I did that. Like, just completely disconnected from my vagina and pleasure. Like, it was like a bad thing. And you know, my former partner, he had a porn habit that I found out about, and that's really when all that stuff I had buried, it just burst open, because I realized the safe air quotes false world of purity that I had created, which by the way isn't natural, because sex is natural, but I had created this false world around me, and that pornography habit and the lies just burst, and all my past came back, and I had to deal with it. And that's really where my sexual healing journey began. So it wasn't pushing the shame away. It's when the shame came back and like slapped me in the face to have to deal with it. And so in the next video, I'm gonna tell you different ways that I explored how to release this shame. And I feel confident that everyone can live shame-free. And just stay tuned for my next video, and you can find out what I did, and hopefully it will help you too. All right, thank you for watching. If you found it helpful, please share it with somebody, because I find that, and the reason I'm doing this is once we share shame stories and we become relatable, that's when it really starts to dissolve. So please share this video with anybody, any woman especially, because everybody does carry some shame and it gets in the way. So thank you, and stay tuned for the next video.